In this recap video, we will be looking at Bangayan sa Senado at Kamara para sa Chacha, Uniteam Civil War, Meralco refunds, at marami pang iba. Kumusta for me? This is Avoid Joseph and welcome to News Item Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 38. We have tons to cover since last week, so skip to the answers provided if it piques your interest. Done for the placing selective summation. Here are some page news commentary for your convenience. Dahil wala na akong malagay dito, Duterte Civil War thingy and Senado sa Kamara Bangayan. PBBM, everything's fine in the unity. Matapos ang walang hangganang tirada ni former President Rodrigo Duterte at 1st District Davao Representative Sebastian Duterte, iginigiit ni President Bongbong Marcos na ang tambalang Uniteam ng mga pamilyang Marcos at Duterte ay matatag at patuloy sa pagsaserbisyo sa mga Pilipino patungo sa bagong Pilipinas, their kick-off campaign na ginawa last week sa Quirino Grandstand. Ang kanilang kampanya to reform the Philippines with this 8-point agenda 2 years into his presidency, which is kind of late, but una rito ang infrastructure development, food security, digital transformation of the government, enterprise development, human capital development, accelerating climate action and strengthening disaster resilience, strategic directions on transitions to full devolution or like decentralization, and research and development and innovation. Matatandaang nagiinit ang mga Duterte specifically patungkol sa People's Initiative for a Charter Change. Nag-hold ng rally si dating Presidente Rodrigo Duterte sa Davao City patungkol sa kanilang pagtutol sa Charter Change via People's Initiative, lalo na kabi-kabila ang issue patungkol sa pagsusuhol ng mga opisyal ng gobyerno o ilang mga negosyante ng kakarampot na 100 pesos at ayuda kapalit ng kanilang pirma in favor of proposing charter change sa Pilipinas. Ulit-ulit nilang sinasabi na Dabaweños are not for sale, echoing 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte sa kanyang pasari laban sa People's Initiative na lumalaganap sa buong Mindanao and possibly the entire region. Lalo na ngayon, meron lang na 44 na distrito sa Pilipinas ang hindi nagbigay ng mga lagda para sa People's Initiative. Kasi kailangan at least 3% per district, but I will get on it later. Pinasalingan nila Atty. Harry Roque at mag-resign pa nga, sabi ni Baste.
Mr. President, kung wala kay Bugma, kung wala kay aspirations, sa inyo na resign.
Mayor Sebastian Duterte at kanyang dating Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez, si President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na nagsasabing kanyang pinagsisisihan ang kanyang malaking kontribusyon sa pagkakaelek ni PBBM.
Nung tayo ay nagbuklod-buklod, nagsama-sama, ang ating tema ay unity. Ang tsa ba, ang paglustay ng pera ng kaban ng bansa, yan ba ay magdudulot sa atin ng pagkakaisa o pagkakawatak-watak?
Pati na ang kanilang pagkadismaya sa paglalaganap ng di umano'y illegal na droga sa bansa, pati na ang peace talks with CPP, NPA, NDF, tulad ng ginawa ni VP Sara Duterte nung kanyang tutulan ang pagbibigay ng amnestiya sa mga dating rebelde ng ilang terrorist groups tulad ng MILF, MNLF, CPP, NPA, NDF, and that Alex something brigade. Now, may tatlong paraan upang baguhin ang saligang batas sa Pilipinas. Number 1, we have the Constituent Assembly, which according to Article 17 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, kinakailangang bumoto ang House of Representatives at Senate separately with a 3/4 majority or around 75% sa House of Representatives at sa Senado upang amyendahan ang saligang batas. We also have Constitutional Convention, which is slightly more at ease sa pagpapagawa ng CONCON. According to Article 17 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, kinakailangan bumoto ang House of Representatives at Senate, again separately, but only with a 2/3 or 66.66% kung ikukumpara mo sa 75% ng Constituent Assembly. Kumbaga, itong 66.66% na mag-authorize sa kanilang paggawa ng convention para pag-usapan ang pag-amyenda sa saligang batas. With the proponents of the constitutional amendments ran the numbers, it said that it will cost the Philippine government a total of 14 billion to 28 billion pesos for a CONCON according to the National Economic and Development Authority o NEDA sa mga delegado at saka of course yung operating hours ng mga delegado na iniimbita sa Constitutional Convention. Marami pang gusto na pag-isahin na lang ang boto ng House of Representatives at Senado, which goes to show you na gusto talaga nilang tanggalin sa picture yung Senado at of course yung kanilang vehement opposition sa charter change. Now, dahil ayaw ng Senado sa charter change, ito ang nakita ng mga proponent ng Chacha para mapalitan or at least mapilitang talakayin ng Senado ang charter change. Number 3, we have People's Initiative. Wala ito sa Konstitusyon ng Pilipinas, ngunit nagkaroon ng legal way ang masa upang makapag-push ng referendum para sa pag-aamyenda ng kahit anong batas, budget at even the Constitution itself. Basta magkaroon lang ng enough signatures to appeal to the government. Sa RA 6735, binibigyan ng kakayahan ang sambayanan para ihain sa Kongreso ang kanilang kagustuhang mag-amyenda by at least 12% ng mga registered voters sa buong bansa, at least 3% in all legislative districts. Kaya talagang nung tinanggal or pinush ng COMELEC na itigil ang pagbibilang at of course pagsasubmit, merong 44 na distrito sa Pilipinas ang hindi pumayag na magbigay ng signatures o mga perma para sa People's Initiative. Kaya hindi nila na-meet yung at least 3% in all legislative district clause sa RA 6735. Ang layo ng RA 6735 ay bigyan ng boses ang masa kung ang kanilang mga representante ay hindi gumagalaw ayon sa kanilang gusto, lalo na sa mga batas na ipinapanukala at naipasa. Isinuspinde rin ng COMELEC ang mga proseso o pagpoproseso ng mga perma sa People's Initiative upang repasuhin ang nasabing implementing rules and regulation upang siguraduhin ang pagtahak ng landas sa pag-amyenda ng saligang batas. Kasi kahit anong allegations of malice done with regards to the People's Initiative, makokompromisa o makokompromise yung push for People's Initiative, lalo na ngayon maraming nagsasabi na of course Ed Selagman at Kabataan Party List Representative na merong nagbibigay ng ayuda kapalit ng pirma at of course meron pa yung 100 piso per pirma. May sinasabi pang secession o pag-alis ng Mindanao sa Pilipinas na pinangungunahan ni former President Rodrigo Duterte, presumably because they're being quote-unquote persecuted and will be prosecuted by ICC or by the ICC or International Criminal Court o Court International Criminal Court. I don't know. Dahil sa kanyang patuloy na pasading sa nakaupong presidente. Of course, ako ayoko talagang ibigay si Duterte sa ICC. Kung gusto talagang makasuhan si Duterte, gawin nila sa, of course, sa korte ng Pilipinas. And then only do they get to prosecute the former leader of the Philippines. Kasi napaka-bad perception or bad look kung yung mga banyaga ang unang aaresto o magta-trial kay, again, former President Rodrigo Duterte. Nagsagutan pa nga ang dati at kasalukuyang presidente. Nakusahan ni FPRRD na sumisinghot si PBBM ng cocaine at ito'y nasa drug list ng PIDEA noong siya ang mayor ng Davao at baka siya'y matulad sa kanyang tatay.
Pumapasok kayo ng alanganin. Mr. President, baka susunod ka sa dinaanan ng tatay mo.
Although, is he saying na mapapatalsik siya sa kanyang posisyon? Drug addict ba si former President and Dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr.? At sinasabi rin niya na si First Lady Liza Marcos or Liza Araneta Marcos at Speaker Romualdez ang nagpapapit kay PBBM sa mga inisyatibong ito. That First Lady Liza Marcos or Liza Araneta Marcos is somehow the mastermind. And of course, I'm not discrediting women, but you know what? Probably. Samantalang pinabulaanan naman ito ng PIDEA at PNP with PBBM saying na baka fentanyl ang dahilan kung bakit nagsasalita ng ganyan ang dating presidente ng Pilipinas.
Dito sa statement ni President Duterte last night sa drugs and abuse initiative and encouraging you to resign.
I think it's the fentanyl.
I just want amphetamines, okay? Or cocaine and fentanyl. Naglabas naman ng suporta ang Kamara para sa kasalukuyang presidente amid Duterte's bashing and of course even House Speaker Romualdez. Sinasabi niyang mananatili si VP Sara Duterte as the Department of Education Secretary, samantalang nagsalita naman si VP Sara Duterte na iginigiit na kahit na nirerespeto niya ang desisyon at freedom of expression ng kanyang ama at kapatid, hindi ibig sabihin nun ay parehas sila ng sentimento sa administrasyon at sa ating presidente.
Assalamualaikum. Taus-puso po akong nagpapasalamat kay Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. para sa kanyang patuloy na tiwala at kumpiyansa sa akin bilang kalihim ng kagawaran ng edukasyon. Mahalaga ang kanyang pagkilala sa papel ng lahat ng bumubuo ng Department of Education sa pagsulong ng 8-point socio-economic agenda ng Marcos administration para sa isang bagong Pilipinas. Nagpapasalamat din ako kay PBBM sa kanyang paggalang sa aking mga paninindigan. Katulad na lang ng aking pagtutol sa pera ko sa lahat ng mga ito. Pinalaki ako ng aking mga magulang na may pagpapahalaga sa malayang pag-iisip at pagpapasya. Para sa akin, laging nangunguna ang katapatan ko sa paglilingkod sa bayan. Uunahin ko ang edukasyon ng ating kabataan at kapayapaan ng bayan.
Ayon naman kay Senator Amy Marcos na nasa parehong rally ni former President Rodrigo Duterte nung sinabi niyang against post-initiative charter change at kung saan parang nilalapastangan ang otoridad ng kanyang kapatid na nagsorry naman daw si Mayor Baste Duterte sa kanyang mga maanghang na tirada sa kanyang kapatid. Ngunit pinabubulaanan naman ito ni Baste, the Davao Mayor, at sinasabing nagsorry siya kay Madam Senator Amy Marcos as a sign of respect sa kanyang presidential sister. Pero hindi niya binabawi yung mga paratang or calls niya for resignation laban sa presidente. Senado at HOR labanan sa Kongreso. Pumalag sa mga paratang na nilalapastangan na at hindi sinasang-alang ang interparliamentary courtesy o ang pagpe-play nice ng dalawang houses ng Kongreso ayon sa mga leader ng House of Representatives dahil sa patuloy na investigasyon ng Senado sa mga nagpupush ng charter change via People's Initiative kung saan naiisiwalat na ang grupong pirma o People's Initiative Reform, Modernization and Action na, as their name suggests, keeps on pushing charter change through RA 6735 aka People's Initiative route ng constitutional amendment and basically everything. Naisiwalat sa kanilang investigasyon na nakikipag-usap at nakikipagpulong pa si House Speaker Martin Romualdez sa mga grupo na nagpupush sa People's Initiative ng kanyang naramdaman yung dismissal ng mga senador sa kahit anong tsatsya na inihiyain ng mga kongresista sa House of Representatives. Samantalang ang mga Congress representatives sa House of Representatives ay bumanat back patungkol sa sinasabing pagpatay sa pag-asang maamyendahan ng saligang batas dahil sa kanilang mga hearing at inquiry regarding sa mga suhulan at masterminds ng nasabing People's Initiative at of course, ini-implicate nila na si Martin Romualdez ay isa sa mga figurehead at basically the sponsor ng mga taong ito. Lalo na sa pagpapagawa ng ad. Basically saying na baka mamaya budget ng tao ang ginagamit pang suhol sa mga tao at yung paggawa ng ad nila along with many more. Although he has already said before the year ended back in December 2023 that they will pursue constitutional amendments for 2024 which could also explain why tumaas ng 7 times from 2 billion pesos na hinihingi ng COMELEC to 14 billion pesos ang budget para sa eleksyon and most importantly, plebiscito that the People's Initiative will trigger. So basically, they're trying to ready up the COMELEC's budget for the plebiscite that would happen if the People's Initiative route will come through. Bangayan sa Kongreso, AKAP edition. Ngayon na may nagkakainita ng dalawang houses ng Kongreso matapos pasaringan ni Senator Amy Marcos at ilang senador ng magulantang sa pagpasa ng bagong programang AKAP o Ayuda para para sa kapos ang kita program ng DSWD without an IRR o implementing rules and regulation. Kumbaga naglagay lang sila ng I think 27 billion pesos pero hindi pa nila alam kung paano ito i-implementa. So that's kind of weird para sa 2024 budget. Lalo na kung it's still in the workshop. It should be done 2025. Sinasabi ni Amy Marcos na mayroon ng 26.7 billion pesos kung saan kanyang ina-allege ni Senator Amy Marcos ang paggamit ng mga funds nito para sa kapalit o pabuya ng pirma ng mga pipirma sa People's Initiative or People's Initiative Reform ng Konstitusyon. Nagulantang sila kaya talaga namang moot point na hindi talaga masusuyod or hindi nasusuyod ng mabuti ang ating National Budget Appropriations. Kaya nga nagulat din tayo with the 17 billion pesos. 7 times from 2 billion to 14 billion increase sa mga pagboto sa mga plebisito at election or special elections para sa taong 2024. Kumbaga parang nire-ready na ng House of Representatives yung pag-push nila sa People's Initiative Reform or at least yung constitutional amendment. Which is why talagang nagulat yung Meralco even with the fact na nagkaroon sila ng 7-fold increase from 2 billion to 14 billion pesos. Here are some more page news for your convenience. Arnolfo Teves Jr. kinansela ang pasaporte. Kinansela na ng DFA sa utos ng Manila Regional Trial Court ang pasaporte ng dating Negros Oriental Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. upang masiguro ang kanyang pagkakaaresto kahit na walang extradition treaty o yung paghuhuli ng kriminal ng isang bansa abroad sa bansang kanyang pinagsistayan matapos ang ilang buwang pagtatago sa Kongreso at pagdadodge sa multiple court orders patungkol sa kanyang pagsipot. Kumbaga, kung hindi mahuhuli or walang way ang Pilipinas para makuha si Teves Jr., ang gagawin na lang nila is kanselahin yung pasaporte, which means that he would be an illegal immigrant in that country kasi hindi illegal yung dokumento niya at mapapadala siya sa Pilipinas kahit na walang extradition treaty. Matatanda ang kinasuhan si dating Representative Teves Jr. dahil sa alagasyong karumal-dumal na pagpapa-assassinate kay deceased Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo habang siya namimigay ng ayuda or for peace sa kanyang mga constituents. Naipatalsik na rin sa Kamara si Arnolfo Teves Jr. dahil sa pag-abandona sa kanyang posisyon bilang kongresista ng Negros Oriental. Pagsisik ng political asylum from I think East Timor or East, indecent behavior katulad nung pagsasayaw niya ng nakasando or something. Itinalaga rin siyang terorista dati ng Anti-Terrorism Council last 2023. So there's that. I think it's in NIDW number 10 or 12. I'm not really sure. Meralco may pa-refund. Inutusan ng Energy Regulatory Commission ang pagre-refund ng parte ng malaking increase at bill ng kuryente nitong Pebrero. Matatanda ang umabot sa 0.57 or 57 cents per kilowatt hour ang dagdag singil sa mga consumer at customer ng pinakamalaking supplier ng kuryente sa buong Pilipinas at archipelago. Sinasabing ang dahilan kung bakit inabot ang dagdag singil na 57 cents per kilowatt hour ay dahil sa pagtaas ng mga panggatong tulad ng imported liquefied natural gas at local malampaya gas field. Sa bagong 0.57 or 57 cent per kilowatt hour na dagdag ng singil ng mga consumer, aabot sa 115 pesos sa kumukonsumo ng 200 kilowatt hours, 172 pesos naman sa 300 kilowatt hours, 229 pesos naman sa 400 kilowatt hours at dagdag na 287 pesos para sa kumokonsumo ng 500 kilowatt per hour na kuryente. Sa kanay hindi pa alam kung magkano ang sumobra sa 0.57 or 57 cent per kilowatt hour hike ang dapat ibalik sa mga consumer or customer ng Meralco, which is why pati ERC nagtaka bakit nyo agad pinasa sa consumer without validating yung increase sa presyo ng liquefied natural gas na ginagamit nyo para sa transmission ng kuryente. Tinitignan din nila ang mga nakaambang electricity hikes dahil sa paparating na El Nino. So there's that. So that's another one for the more page news for the foreseeable future. Whang-Od Oggay Medal of Merit. Binigyan ni President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang pinakamatandang Kalinga tattoo artist na si Whang-Od ng Presidential Medal of Merit. However, there's some stuff na nakita ko just like later or just a few hours ago that disputes the claim that Whang-Od is in fact the oldest Kalinga tattoo artist in the region. Naging instrumental ang pagtatattoo ng 106-year-old na si Whang-Od sa pagsabog ng popularidad ng kanilang tradisyon sa Kalinga at international notoriety na bumubuhay at nagpe-preserve for years to come ang kanilang kultura sa mata ng mga Pilipino at ng buong mundo. Here are some notable international news for your convenience. 2024 Indonesian election. The 2024 Indonesian election was in full swing this week as the highly popular incumbent and outgoing President Joko Widodo, who had been on the helm of Indonesian politics, is restricted to 2 terms. The country and its 204 million people will be electing 20,600 positions, picking among the 259,000 candidates on ballots across their 17,000 islands. The third largest democratic country in the world, only behind India and the United States of America, who will also be having their own election later this year, also holds the distinction of being the largest economy and population in the Southeast Asian region, along with being the largest Islamic country in the entire world, or at least Muslim majority in the entire world. The funny thing here is that he's so popular that due to the economic growth that had happened under his term, that no large candidates is taking a dig at him and are hopefully vying for his backing in the 2024 election. The contenders to succeed the outgoing president includes Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto with his VP Gibran Rakabuming, or the mayor of Sungkarta, and also the son of Joko Widodo. Former Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan with his VP Muhaimin Iskandar, or the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and ex-Central Java Governor Ganja Pranowo with his VP Mahfud MD. Defense Minister Prabowo, who has been in quite a pickle with some controversies regarding his deeply entrenched role in the alleged human rights violation in 1998 with Indonesia's annexation of East Timor, or East to East Timor, along with the fact that Joko Widodo's son is his running mate for the vice president's post, which made some voters quite nervous that Joko Widodo is somehow wanting to establish a political dynasty with his son as the VP, and picking his once rival in the position of power. Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto has also been rehabilitating his image from the past under the 32-year dictatorship of General Suharto to an internet darling during his campaign after previously losing twice to President Joko Widodo. And now the fact that he is now his defense minister kind of gives you an idea of who he actually wants to be the president. Who is he backing? Although he hasn't particularly or outwardly said it, the fact that his son will be the VP of Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto in case they win would be quite the Grand Slam home run. There were also issues owing to the fact that VP Gibran, or the VP hopeful Gibran Rakabuming, which is also the mayor of Surakarta and the son of the outgoing incumbent popular President Joko Widodo, is only 36 years old, less than the minimum mandate of being 40 or older to run for the position. The ruling that gave the go-ahead to run for office was the Chief Justice and also his uncle. So you see the cronyism and the political dynasty that some people was going to attribute to him picking or being the vice president after his father's presidency of 2 terms in the incredibly popular move. The campaign trail, like many elections including the Philippine election, was allegedly full of disinformation campaigns to discredit their rivals in their supposed tight race. The presidential election is a direct runoff, voting meaning the candidate need to have the majority of the votes and at least 20% in half of Indonesia's provinces. If, however, no candidates receive the majority of the votes, there will be a runoff election between the top 2 presidential candidates. On the unofficial votes, Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto and Gibran Rakabuming will seemingly be winning the majority, having the commanding lead of the votes winning. We don't know yet for sure. The official count of the votes will not be released for a long time, but he is poised to take upon the mantle as Indonesia's president-elect, promising continuity of Widodo's policies and stability, and the fact that he is the defense minister. Although, as I said, General Suharto was deeply entrenched in the military operations in East Timor under General Suharto, or the dictator himself. At yan ang pagtatapos ng News Item Worthy Recap Weekly Edition for roughly the 3rd week of February 2024. Mag-suggest some more topics and or corrections to the balitas if you feel I misrepresented them in any way. Salamat sa mga panonood mga kabayang. For me, like, subscribe, and follow my links and socials to avoid Joseph that will be linked down below. Sa susunod muli, paalam.